move on. Okay, right. So the establishment of British power in Bengal. So there were two major wars that were fought in Bengal. And we already gave the circumstances behind the war when we said that fortifications were done in this region. The Bengal Nawab, the Bengal governor, and the Mughal Subedar. So there was a lot of leadership crisis that started to develop due to Britishers in this location. So we are talking about this location. So the map is shared to you. One of the most fertile regions in India at the time. So the Mughals have claimed control over Bengal region, whereas the Bengal Nawab was independent according to him. He was not the Mughal subordinate. The Mughals have appointed even a Subedar or supervisor. So whenever there was heavy pressure from the Mughals, the Bengal ruler used to surrender, used to provide annual tribute. When the pressure was reduced, that means whenever the Mughals were weakened, the Bengals used to enjoy their own independent rule and governance in this location. Okay, so Bengal was basically Suba means province of the Mughals, and at this point of time. But that is what paper says us. Whereas the Bengal Nawabs did not consider themselves subordinate for lengthy periods of time. Okay. Alivardi Khan was one such a Bengal ruler who decides that he does not want to be the Subedar, or he does not want to be subordinate of the Mughals. So Alivardi Khan declares himself as an independent ruler. So he is one in the line who's saying that he doesn't want to be the subordinate of the Mughals. And Alivardi Khan was a Nawab of Bengal who also maintains good relationship with the British East India Company. So British East India Company had also promised him support, and he was also economically wealthier ruler, and he was having good military base also. So that way Alivardi Khan had made Murshidabad as the capital, and he is trying to be independent away from the Mughals. Okay, so that is the background of the battle that we are going to discuss today. Then Alivardi Khan was a powerful man, and he was able to create this independence. He was able to declare Bengal as an independent province. But we can't expect that the successors were also equally powerful and capable to maintain the independence, right? So that way, Alivardi Khan was succeeded by Sirajud-Dowla. Okay, a very young person who comes to power. He was 20-year-old when he comes to power. So in comparison to Alivardi Khan, this person was very weak and inexperienced, and he was more concerned about himself than taking into consideration all the factors. Okay, so that is why we are labeling Siraj-Dowla as a weak and inexperienced ruler. He wanted to make Bengal really independent. Okay, so he feels that more than the Mughals, it is the British who are interfering in the matters of Bengal. Okay, his feeling is very correct, because the Bengal's people, administration, Bengal trade, Bengal pricing, Bengal land revenue, everything, every decision before Bengal Nawab makes, there was some form of interference that always came from the English East India Company. So this person, Siraj-Dowla, does not like that at all. So he hated British. That is the harshest word we can use against this relationship. And he did not want them to interfere in the matters of Bengal, right? So he hated British and disliked their interference. So he's very much affected by their interference in the administration, dislike their interference in the administration, right? So that way, the relationship between Siraj-Dowla and the British had not improved during this period. Okay, so that's what we are learning. Then the Britishers were also equally responsible for the trouble that was brewing between company and the Bengalis. We already told you about how they had issued firman, right? So they showed a royal order issued by the Mughals in order to get advantage from the Bengal rulers. They also received firman, royal orders from the Bengal rulers, and they showed it to the neighboring territories, and they got advantage in the name of the Bengal rulers. So that way, the permits that were given by the Mughals, the permits that were given by the Bengal rulers were definitely misused by the Britishers. Ethically, they were not doing any form of business. So there was a lot of clashes that were happening between the British and the Bengal workers, the Bengal Subedars in this location of the time. Okay. Then, if you are a trader, you are expected to pay tax to the ruler. So English East India Company was a trader. Definitely, they were expected to pay tax to the Britishers, but the British East India Company felt themselves superior several times, so they did not pay on time. Only when they were reminded upon or they were told upon, they used to give the settlements, that to delayed settlements only. Okay. Then another decision taken by the British was to make fortification. So they first built Fort William, and then they extended Fort William, and then they are also mounting guns on Fort William. Okay, so if there is a fort, then there is going to be armament. So there no use in cribbing about it. So the first Bengal rulers had permitted the British East India Company to make fortification. Fort William was done, right? So here, so now this Fort William is getting expanded. The Fort William is having guns or larger artillery. So all that was unexpected decisions or not expected by the Bengal ruler. So what am I telling to you? I'm telling you the reasons for building differences between the British and the Bengal ruler. Right. So the Bengal ruler himself was discontent with the British. So one of the interpretation is he was not experienced enough to understand the situation. But you and me may agree with Sirajuddaula when we say that he did not like it correctly, because the Britishers were taking advantage of the friendship. They are not paying revenue, they are not paying taxes, they are interfering in the local administration, and they are also fortifying their town when they are expected only to live and trade in that location, right? So all these are justified reasons for Sirajuddaula. Okay, then Sirajuddaula decides to attack Fort William. Okay, so the British historians are only labeling Nawab as very impatient, because he is not negotiating first, he is attacking first. That is the interpretation they want you and me to believe in, that the Nawab attacked Fort William without any cause of provocation in 1756. And you may not agree with that. Okay, so in 1756, the two, when the Britishers were very much focused on Carnatic wars in the Arcad region, so their attention is diverted from Bengal. So at that time, Sirajuddaula unethically, without giving any warning, impatiently is attacking Fort William. That is what Jones is telling us. Sir Jones, who has written about this, he's telling to us. Okay, so 1756, Fort William was attacked. Right. Then it is also told, it is believed that he captured Calcutta. That is, Fort William is built there, no? So he has captured Calcutta, and he has taken 146 British men as prisoners of war, and then he's arresting them and imprisoning them in a room. Okay. So you remember one Ambayona massacre incident between the Dutch and the British? So same way, here the same story or narration is given by the British authors, right? So The Nawab is attacking in 1756, that too without any provocation. Number one. Number two, he didn't give any kind of warning or did not negotiate. Instead, he's attacking. That is not a good thing. Number two. Number three, the Britishers were busy in Carnatic region. That time he is unjustifiably attacking Bengal. That also they don't like it. Number four, he attacked Calcutta. He captured 146 people as prisoners, which a king is allowed to do. And he's imprisoning them in a small room, 18 by 15 feet room. Okay. And next morning, when the room is opened, only 23 people survived. So that means how many dead? How many dead? Are you still with me, or I'm talking alone in this classroom?
Mom, it's 123.
123 people dead. Okay. So Latesh has not answered so far. Latesh, what should the Britishers be provoked because of this? 123 people dead within one night of stay. Cruelty. I know this is cruelty. No, the Britishers can label this as, you and me also can label this as cruelty. Definitely Britishers will label this as cruelty. Latesh did not answer. Latesh is in my hit list. I may not give attendance. Okay, right. Latesh needs to answer within another minute. Right. So 23 survived the night, and Britishers were not ready to forgive and forget. We don't expect them to do that, right? So the Britishers were not impressed with the attitude of Sirajuddaula. Okay, right? So what happened? Colonel Robert Clive sent huge army from Madras to Calcutta under Admiral Watson. Okay, so Colonel Robert Clive is sending huge army from Madras to Calcutta under Admiral Watson. Okay, so we have not yet studied Carnatic words. Okay, so next class we will do Carnatic words. So that's how we talk about how Robert Clive is in South India. He is sending huge army from South India to Bengal in order to help the situation that is developing in the Fort William region. So that's how you find the war has become inevitable. Okay, right. So the incident that took place is described as black hole tragedy. What is black hole tragedy? 146 prisoners who were captured by Sirajuddaula in 756, and they were locked in the prison in the fort, and 123 die overnight is referred as black hole tragedy. Okay, so in order to avenge this black hole tragedy, the Britishers were willing to fight a war. As I keep on telling you, this East India Company is only a trading company. So if they have to fight a war, they have to obtain permission from their headquarters, from the British itself directly, right? So when this black hole tragedy is narrated and a mail or telegram is sent, I'm sure British government is not going to have any objection if a battle is going to develop in this situation, right? So both the armies were ready for the battle, and that is how the Battle of Plassey takes place. So Robert Clive and Admiral Watson are available to fight from the British side, and you have Sirajuddaula and his commander Mir Jafar ready to fight the battle from the Bengal side. So you have Robert Clive and Watson from the British side, and you have Mir Jafar and Sirajuddaula from the Bengal side to start the war with the Britishers. So this battle is supposed to have conducted on 23rd June 1757. You have to remember day, month, and the year. Okay, 23rd June 1757, you are imagining a big war and like Mahabharata, but nothing happened because of betrayal, right? So Siraj-ud-Dowla's general Mir Jafar has already spoken to the Britishers and he has already made a deal of betraying his king, Siraj-ud-Dowla. Okay, so when the forces reach Battle of Plassey, the commander, Mir Jafar, will order his men not to fight. Then what would happen? British army will surround the Bengal soldiers and the Bengal soldiers will surrender. So instead of a lengthy war, it was just a one-day affair. The British won the battle. Siraj-ud-Dowla was killed by his own people and Mir Jafar becomes the Nawab of Bengal. Okay, so Mir Jafar, after becoming Nawab of Bengal, he's so happy. He is granting 24 parganas as gift. Pargana means districts, right? Taluk and district. So he's gifting 24 pargana to Robert Clive as a token of respect. Okay, so what respect? You only should answer that question. Okay, so on 23rd June 1757, instead of a lengthy battle that we are imagining, because more than million soldiers are ready for war. Okay, and the Bengal ruler Siraj-ud-Dowla really thought he had good opportunity to defeat the British East India Company and chase them out of Bengal, because he has already captured Fort William. He was already victorious, right? So he was having high confidence that he is going to win this Battle of Plassey, but unfortunately, he did not know about his own commander Mir Jafar's betrayal. So Siraj-ud-Dowla was killed and Mir Jafar was made as the Nawab of Bengal, right? So with that, Mir Jafar is taking control of Bengal. That means the Britishers are also taking control of Bengal through Mir Jafar, and they are expanding their territories. So not just Kolkata, not just Murshidabad, right? So their control is expanding in this Plassey region, Murshidabad, uh, Calcutta. So these are the two locations that we have talked about so much, right? So the control of the British in this region is greatly enhanced after the Battle of Plassey. Okay, so this Battle of Plassey is considered to be turning point in the history of India and East India Company's success in India. Okay, so many examinations they would ask this simple question about Battle of Plassey. Why is it turning point? What actually happened? What are the results of the war? And what are the consequences? Okay, so that way, this is giving an advantage for the company over their all other European rivals also. They are able to get huge land and territory, which are very lucrative deal for the Britishers. So with the money that they're going to make in Bengal, they are going to get success in South India. With their success in the Carnatic Wars, simultaneously battles are going on, they are able to get success in Bengal. So they are funding their own wars in India. Instead of asking for fund or revenue from the British government in order to enhance their power in India, they are self-funded now by their own successes within India, so that the British government does not face any liability. The British government always gets only profit. So that's what is the meaning of the success of Battle of Plassey. Okay, without big suffering, without big battles, due to espionage, due to treason, they were able to get quick success over Bengal, one of the richest provinces in India. Then they are also able to get administrative control in Bengal region. So they are transforming from a trading company to a governing power, to a governing position after the Battle of Plassey. So Robert Clive is given a lot of credit and the Battle of Plassey is considered to be a historic turning point. And Robert Clive was considered to be hero of Arcad before. Now he is known as empire builder in India. Okay, right? So Mir Jafar comes to power in the year 1758. He was in power up to 1761, and he did not enjoy his role as a puppet of the British. So he tried to come out of it slowly, not being the puppet of the British, but he cannot succeed in doing any one of those things because he lost the respect of his own people and his own soldiers, right? You may be in office, but if you do not have respect of the people or your team that you are leading, then what's the point of being a leader? You can just enjoy lavishly for a few years. After that, you can start counting your own disappearance, right? So Mir Jafar was a ruler for only few years, only 58, 59, 60, 61, 4 years, less than 4 years. He was in office. So he just tried to spend his time lavishly during that period. And then he came up with some measures in order to enhance the revenue of the Bengal province during the time. So he's giving free trade opportunities for Hindu traders, and he also tried to make a secret deal with the Dutch, and he tried to plunder the Hindu bankers who were supporting the British. So the Britishers are also losing any kind of hope with the Mir Jafar. So Mir Jafar was overthrown, and Mir Qasim was made as the Nawab of Bengal. Okay, so that way Bengal was definitely under the control of the British. So the Britishers are the one who are deciding who is going to become Nawab. Britishers are the one who are replacing the Nawabs also, right? So that means the real Bengal rulers were all only puppets or substitutes by this time. They didn't have much actual powers of administration during this period. Fine. So Mir Qasim comes to power in the year 1761, and he also ruled for a few years only. And once he comes to power, he didn't want to focus on the Britishers. He wanted to focus on strengthening the Bengal administration. So he tried to strengthen that, and he paid off majority of the debts that were incurred by Mir Jafar. He concentrated on strengthening his army, and then he did some public work, built roadways, and then he shifted the capital again from Murshidabad to another unknown distant location called Mongyar. And he is slowly trying to make Bengal's people free from British rule. So that is his intention. But he's not showing that intention in the initial period. He's only telling that he wanted to strengthen the Bengal province and the revenue of the Bengalis. Okay. Then he is trying to train his men, make his army stronger. In order to do that, he's appointing some foreign military experts to train his army. But this information cannot be kept as secret for a long time. Correct. So when the king is employing foreign experts to train his army, then the Britishers naturally became suspicious and started their inquiry. They wanted to know why is this happening. So they are questioning Mir Qasim and his attitude. So once again, it proves my theory that the Bengal rulers were only puppets. They did not have the independence to appoint their own soldiers, right? Their own foreign experts or trainers. So differences arose between the British and the Bengal Nawab again, and therefore the Britishers are deciding, let us replace Mir Qasim also. So all our Bengal rulers are becoming easily replaceable, right? One after another. And that's how the next battle takes place. So Mir Qasim is also very stubborn. He's not ready to surrender without any kind of battle. So Mir Qasim is demanding, pay your share of taxes. Okay. Otherwise, we shall give the free trade opportunity to Hindu traders or other Indian traders. And Bengal Nawab also made secret alliances. So he was clever. He's also making secret alliance system with Shah Alam, who was the Mughal emperor, as well as with Suja ud Dawla, who was the governor of Oudh. So what and all he has done, first he paid off the debt. Who? Our Mir Qasim. Then second, he is strengthening the army. Number three, he did some developmental work so that his economy is getting stabilized. Number four, he is recruiting foreign experts in order to improve the war strategies that they are having. Number five, he is telling to pay all the tax due, the taxes that are due from the Britishers. And number six, he is also building alliance system with two of the immediate powerful neighbors. One, the Mughal emperor, whom he thinks is very powerful. And secondly, he is also building alliance with the ruler of Oudh. So whatever he can do, he is trying his best. Mir Qasim is trying to put up best defense against the Britishers, right? So 60,000 men were ready for the battle with the British. Okay, so a secret alliance was made and they were ready for battle. So this battle only took place at Buxar in October 1764. So 60,000 men are there in the Indian side, whereas in the British side, they had only 7,000 soldiers. Okay, and General Munro was the commander. Major Munro was the commander of the British side. So Battle of Buxar takes place in 1764 against the alliance made by the Bengal ruler with the Mughal emperor and the Oudh ruler, Suja ud Dawla. So combined strength of 60,000 soldiers were there in the Indian side. On the other side, 7,000. Probably 10, 12,000 might be there. The British historians always exaggerate their successes. So they are telling we had only this many number, they had that many numbers, still we they like the story. So probably they may have some 10, 12,000, but they had resources. They had a good amount of economic resources and they could get men from Calcutta or they could get men from Madras. They can also get men from Bombay if the battle drags in. Okay, so that way Battle of Buxar is all set. Unfortunately for the Indians, it was the Britishers who succeed in the Battle of Buxar. Okay, right? So question time. Let me ask one question to one student. So already one student has proven that he is not available to me. That is 3H1012. Latish has not answered. Reebka 2H1038. HEP 38. HEP 38. So for the Battle of Buxar, the Bengal ruler was well prepared. But in spite of that, you were not able to get success. That was the tragedy of this battle. So Battle of Buxar, definitely a crucial victory for the British. The Britishers forced the Bengal rulers to sign a treaty called as Treaty of Allahabad. And by this treaty, the province of Oudh was returned. So that means they are warning the Oudh not to involve themselves in any more affair. And they are returning the territory to the province of Oudh. But they are asking the ruler, Suja ud Dawla, to pay 50 lakhs as compensation. Can you imagine the value of 50 lakhs at the time? So 50 lakhs was taken as compensation from the Bengal of Oudh. So definitely the Britishers are getting good success and gain out of this warfare, right? So they are getting 50 lakhs as compensation. And then they are also forcing Suja ud Dawla to maintain British troops in his own country at his own expenditure. So the British troops which will be stationed in Oudh are going to be the eyes and the ears of the British East India Company. They are going to see to it that the Oudh ruler does not act against the interests of the British, and these soldiers are going to be fed, they're going to be taken care of, their salaries are going to be paid using the income that the Oudh ruler is going to get, right? So that way, they are asking a tribute. That is what Indian rulers used to collect as tribute, right? So 50 lakhs as compensation, and they are asking them to maintain tribute or feudatory soldiers in their own kingdom. So that way, Oudh was taught a big lesson, right? Then Mir Jafar was once again made the Nawab of Bengal. So puppet Nawab. So they are choosing Mir Jafar. They only overthrew Mir Jafar, no, and brought Mir Qasim. So they are bringing back Mir Jafar and making him the puppet ruler, and they are making sure that Mir Jafar is not going to have any kind of powers to enjoy or money to enjoy. So it's just going to be there as a stamp for the Bengal people. Then Mughal Emperor Shah Alam is also forced to grant new rights to the British, and that right is called Diwani right. Okay, the Mughal Emperor was asked to grant Diwani rights to the British. So what is Diwani? Diwani right means right to collect revenue. So on behalf of the Mughals, these Britishers can collect revenue from Bengal, Bihar, and Orissa. So that way, the administration will be done by the local ruler, the Nawab of Bengal, whereas revenue collection will be done by the Britishers. So money will be enjoyed by the British, whereas the duty, administrative duty, will be done by the Bengal rulers. So neither will be responsible to the people, right? So when the people will go to the Britishers and ask for something or complain about something, British will say, I don't have any administrative control. If they go to the British Bengal ruler and then they ask or demand for something, Bengal ruler will say, I don't have the income to do the necessity. So that way, dual governance, this is called as dual system of administration, where revenue collection rights are given to the British, called as the Diwani rights, whereas administrative powers are given to the Bengal rulers. So that way, dual administrative system was introduced in Bengal cleverly by the Britishers. Why? The East India Company can say we are only traders, we don't know how to do administration. But what do they know? How to make profit. So they can share their profit to their British government. So that way, Robert Clive was appointed as the new governor of Bengal immediately after Battle of Buxar. So what is this Diwani rights? The right to collect revenue in these provinces. So they can even increase their taxes and collect revenue. But what they will not have, they will not have any kind of responsibility. So the dual government in Bengal had great advantage for the British because they had power without responsibility. Whereas the Nawab of the officials had responsibility without power, because without revenue you can't do anything practically. So that way, cleverly, they have brought Bengal under the control of Britishers. So that is what is this topic about: establishment of British power at Bengal. So how did it happen? They first got permission to start factory, then they got permission to trade in river Hooghly, then they got Kolkata, then they established their fortifications, expanded their fortifications. When they came into conflict with the local rulers, they were able to win the battles of Plassey and Buxar. Either they were able to do it in a crooked manner or an ethical manner. That does not matter for the Britishers, because they succeeded in what they wanted to achieve. They got the rights to collect revenue from the entire Bengal, Bihar, and Orissa. Thereby, they would become the richest in this locality without a single responsibility. That's the beauty, right? So they can only collect taxes and enjoy. So Mughal ruler is also defeated in Bengal. So you need to remember that. So the Mughals have also practically became puppet. So the Bengal rulers had become puppet. The Mughal rulers have also become puppet, right? So that is why you find that this was not a good situation for India at all. So the success of the British in Bengal was responsible for the success of the British in India. Okay, so the early warfares, both in Carnatic region and in Bengal. So we are only taking two samples of warfare, Bengal and Carnatic region. So as to early warfare. So the success of the British in these two locations through warfare was definitely responsible for the English East India Company to lay their foundation in India. So that's about present class where we talked about success of the British. Okay, so that way, thank you. Any questions are there, please let me know. Question, you have another minute. So let me repeat, I did not have any kind of contact with the following people: HTJ12, HEP 38, HEP 32, 13 and 25. Along with the number of minutes you spend in a class, your class participation will also be taken into consideration. Okay, so that way now any kind of mercy petition, I am not interested to listen to your story at all. So when I called out 12, 38, 32, 13 and 25, absolutely there was no response for more than 5 to 10 minutes of time. So with that, we close that chapter. Then any question is there, please ask me. So why Battle of Plassey and Battle of Buxar is significant? One question shall be asked to you. What are the results of the battle? Can be another question. More than that, significance and impact of Battle of Plassey and Buxar is frequently asked 5 marks question answer in the examination. So you have to make an answer using the content available in your LMS on significance of Battle of Plassey and Buxar. Okay, so take your textbook Grover and Grover, or which is available online as well. Make a content out of it. What is the significance of Battle of Plassey and Buxar? Why is it considered to be turning point in the history of India? Okay, so note down the question. Why is Battle of Plassey and Battle of Buxar considered to be turning point for the history of India? And what are the significance of each of the battle? Okay, so make a 2-line answers on cause of the battle, course of the battle, results of the battle. But more than that, these are all 2-mark questions only. More than that, they would ask you to write about significance and importance of the battle in the 5-mark section. So these are the areas you need to study for this topic. Very simple to understand, but very a lot of impact is there on this. Okay, so thank you. We will meet in the next class.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.